Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
We are alive and kicking and perhaps 10 pounds heavier after the Diamond Club experience last night. Gooby might be 15 pounds.
Thank you.
A little heavier. He didn't run this morning, but tonight.
Very comfortable.
We wrap up this four-game series against the Chicago White Sox. The Angels looking for the series sweep. Let's take a look at the standings, both in the West and in the wild card. Angels 2.5 back of the Astros. Houston taking on the Rays. Texas currently losing to the Detroit Tigers. The Halos right now sitting in wild card number 2. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. I lied. You're about just 12 pounds heavier. That's about it.
TV.
Yeah, exactly. Last night, a 1-0 shutout victory for the Halos. Carlos Perez with the solo home run, and it's nice to see him swinging the bat. He's actually not playing tonight, but he's had a lot of playing time.
Yeah, he's been playing very good. Let's take a look at our AT&T Uverse Rewind. You're going to see that perfect swing. He was very good behind the plate, calling the game, throwing out some base runners, but this was the swing, the difference maker in the game for the Halos. Last night, his third home run of the season, got that fastball. Not many mistakes by Zamarja up in the zone. He was able to capitalize in this great play to finish it off. C.J. Cron, a perfect firm throw over there. Ibar throws it back to Joe Smith to complete a 3-6-1. It had to be looked at and eventually called out. Great way to end the ball game for the Halos last night. An outstanding play all the way around from Cron to Ibar to Joe Smith to finish that one off.
I don't know if that's considered a replay walk-off, but the Angels will take the victory regardless. Obviously, they played much better against the White Sox this week, taking the first 3. Last week, little different stories. The White Sox swept the Angels. Numbers
slightly different. Take a look. Lows never stop improving. What they did, the Angels in Chicago, that's compared to what they've done against Chicago here at the Big A on the road. 0-3. Only scored a little over 1 run per game ERA, team ERA over almost 4.5. But at home, though, 5 home runs, 8 runs scored, 6 of those runs via the long ball, and then the ERA for the pitching staff, this is solid 1. So they pitched the ball extremely well. They've hit the long ball and just enough offense to win the first 3 games of the series.
Mike Scioscia will hand the ball off to Nick Tropiano up from AAA to get the start tonight. Jose Quintana for the Sox. We're just about ready for baseball. Sit back, relax, line up to first pitch when we return. Angels Baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. By Foster Farms Fresh and Natural, locally grown and no added hormones. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. for the Toronto Blue Jays coming to town beginning tomorrow night. A big series with a 7:05 start. Nick Tropiano's ready to go, so we will check out Robin Ventura's lineup for the Chicago White Sox at 55 and 63. Adam Eaton leading things off in center field. That is Tyler Saladino jumping up to the number 2 spot. He's at third. Jose Abreu showing he's the DH tonight. Melky Cabrera in left. Avisail Garcia in right field. He DH'd the first 3 games of this series. Adam LaRoche at first. Alexi Ramirez at short. Giovanni Soto sees action for the first time of this series. He's behind the plate. And Carlos Sanchez is the second baseman. It is Nick Tropiano making the start, his 3rd of the season with the Angels. First one tonight. In there for a strike.
And Tropiano, my go-to is for him to be successful is that fastball command, especially first pitch. Able to throw it in strike zone. 67% fastballs as far as his strike percentage. 69 his second game out.
This would foul back. Tonight's first pitch was delivered by the UPS Storm.
Tropiano does not waste any time.
No.
He was out there way before the umpires were even out there with their conversation getting the lineup cards.
He makes producers very nervous. Got to hurry back from break. Eaton hitting .261, 10 home runs, 31 RBIs. That was just off the plate. 1-2.
Tropiano's fastball is 89-94. Slider, changeup, split finger fastball.
White Sox with 7 hits last night. The Angels with 8, picking up the 1-0 victory. Broken bad little foul, splintering the bat there.
There's a nasty little split finger fastball. Looked like a piece may have gotten Chris Iannetta also. Bat shattered off the end of the bat.
Chris appears to be all right. The count remains at 1-2.
Play by a fan in the stands.
Seen quite a few of those this week. Tropiano, AAA Salt Lake, 15 starts, a 3-5 record, 4.81 ERA, his first season in the Angels organization. As Eaton pulls one down the line, off speed pitch that was up. Eaton with good speed will head to second. He will stop there. It's a leadoff double. 20th of the season for Eaton. Check out the Angels defensively quickly. Shane Victorino left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right, the infield Caleb Coward and Eric Ibar on the left side, Johnny Giavatello and C.J. Cron on the right, Chris Iannetta behind the plate.
Chris Iannetta getting that start behind the plate is thrown out. Over 23% of would-be base stealers. The team's record with him behind the plate, 34 and 33.
Double by Eaton, the second hit of the series for him. Pardon me, the third. Here's Tyler Saladino, the third baseman. Push bunt on the first base side. Tropiano feeds Cron. The sacrifice advances Eaton over to third. And there's the first out of the inning.
I think that's why you saw Robin Ventura put Saladino in that spot to do that type of thing. Either get a bunt down or potentially put a hit and run on with him. More situational type hitter in that number 2 spot.
Jose Abreu have been that number 2 spot in the first 3 games of the series. Going with Saladino tonight. Abreu in the customary 3-hole. DHing tonight. Last night went 0 for 4. 295 average, 22 home runs, 70 RBIs. Infield bang. Will give up the run for the out. Tropiano will deliver a strike. Mentioned Nick with 2 starts prior to tonight. 12 innings, 12 hits, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, an even 3 ERA. He and Carlos Perez coming over from the Astros in exchange for Hank Conger in the offseason. Slider, big swing and a miss. 0-2.
Good break today. Start at middle of the plate and ends up way down and away. kind of slings that slider. It's more of a slurve combination, curveball and slider that he throws.
Missing low. Back to the fastball at 92.
Try that a lot as far as getting ahead against Abreu, trying to fastball inside. And that's the pitch he's hit up the middle for a hit.
That was 2 nights ago. He had 3 hits, all 3 times up. He was 0-2. Had a couple of rockets, 2 singles and a double. Breaking ball pulled to short. Too good of a pitch. It'll bring in a run. Low throw. Crone digs it out of the dirt. 2 outs. 1-0 Sox here in the first.
Part of the reason he's able to make contact on that pitch is because he threw the fastball in, so he's looking away. At that point, if you threw a fastball in 0-2, you're almost better off going back inside with another fastball because you allowed him to track something on the outer half of the plate. Tight rotation in that breaking ball, but it was elevated enough where he can put it in play. Didn't hit it hard, but hit it in the middle of the infield where the infield's playing back. It's going to score a run.
Said it a number of times this year. You talk about guys that have odd swings on an off-speed pitch, but that is already the setup. You've already set him up.
Force him to swing at it again and try it even a 3rd time if you have to.
1 ball, 1 strike on Melky Cabrera. 277 on the year, 8 home runs, 59 runs batted in for season with Chicago. He had a couple of hits last night, both singles. Halos playing from behind. Double by Eaton, a sac bunt, and a ground out.
Well, a lot of strikes being thrown by Tropiano already. 15 pitches, 12 strikes. Very effective when he's down in the strike zone with all his pitches. Fields his position very well.
Melky shoots one out to left field. Shane Victorino moving back will make the catch on the run. That'll do it for the Sox, but they do strike first. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Victorino, Calhoun, and Trout coming up with the Angels down 1-0. Check out the Angels lineup is presented by their skipper Mike Scioscia. Halos at 63 and 57. Well, Shane Victorino leading things off in left field. Cole Calhoun at right. Mike Trout at center. Albert serving as a DH tonight. CJ Crone at first. Eric Ibar the shortstop. Johnny Giavitello in the 7-hole at second base. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Caleb Coward still looking for that first major league hit as they take on the 26-year-old left-hander native of Arjona, Colombia, Jose Quintana.
Quintana's had a pretty solid year as far as ERA, 3.62. Win-loss record not exactly where he wants. Not a lot of run support from my go-tos against Quintana. Top of the order success 1 through 4. Each one of those batters hitting over 300 against him this season. And quiet hands with runners in scoring position. Go with the pitch. Don't try to pull pitches. Just use the middle of the field, relaxed hands, quiet hands to get the job done.
Victorino looks at a strike. 234 average for Shane, a home run, 5 runs batted in. Came in as a defensive replacement late last night. Pulls this one foul. 0-2. Quintana not an easy guy to hit a long ball off of. Keeps the ball usually down the zone.
Yeah, you got a bunch hits together. Mentioned his first 4 in the lineup against him. 94 for 321 against him. That's about a 325 batting average against him. Top 4 in the order.
Down and in. That is pulled past Saladino. It's a leadoff single. Squared up nicely by Victorino. And the Angels return the favor with the leadoff man on board. There's the White Sox defensively. Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia in the outfield from left to right. Saladino, Ramirez, Sanchez, and LaRoche from third to first. Soto behind the plate.
Yeah, Garcia dealing with a little bit of a back issue at times, but when he's in the outfield, he does have a great throwing arm. 12 outfield assists this year, second in the American League. Only JD Martinez has more with 13 outfield assists.
Not a big lead at all for Victorino as Cole looks at a strike.
Left-handed batters only hit 219 against Quintana. Right-handed batters 296.
Oh, 1 pitch outside. There's that breaking ball. Cole 268 on the season, career high 18 home runs and 65 RBIs. Also with 21 doubles on the season. Had one last night, as a matter of fact, 1 for 4. He's had plenty of opportunities. As a matter of fact, both teams have had some opportunities in this series with men in scoring position. Both teams have struggled. Cole drives one out toward left center field. Ball struck well, but Cabrera is there. That ball kind of slices back to the left fielder, and there's out number 1.
Yeah, that was a real good swing by Cole. Look at my Monday key for this game for the Angels to be successful against the White Sox, especially Quintana is going a little who. Won't get fooled again. That means don't go after that changeup out of the strike zone. Same thing with his curveball. He throws about 39% of his pitches between curveball and changeup. They're going to be out of the strike zone. Also will throw that cutter in off the plate.
Trout takes downstairs. Mike went 1 for 3 last night with a single and a walk.
This feels like he's due. Victor, he's 3 for 9 in his career against Quintana with 1 home run. Just looking to square one baseball up, especially if he could do so to dead center field. Get on a roll.
Downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Pujols on deck. Chicago getting the run in the top of the inning. Double by Eaton to start the game. A small ball. Sacrifice bunt and a ground out. Caught the outside corner. That right there, by definition, is a pitcher's pitch. You're in a hitter's count, 2-0. You just paint on the outside corner.
Yeah, if you swing at that more, like you're going to hit a ground ball in the middle infielder. 2-1 counts against Quintana this year. Hitters hitting .531.
Downstairs. Shane takes off. That's driven out to right center field. Victorino keeps on running. That ball off the wall. Victorino comes in to score. Trout in at second. We are knotted at 1.
Well, just like we were saying, that's the type of swing you can get Trout going. And that ball is beat up now with that line drive off the bat of Mike Trout. 23rd double. Now 72 RBI for Trout. Stayed back on this one well. Fastball away. Using that middle of the field. And what a short, compact swing. That's the swing for Mike Trout to get him going. Almost hit so hard off the wall that Eaton had a tough time bringing that back in to have a play at the plate.
Albert takes a strike. Had the night off last night. They're going 1 for 4 with a home run on Tuesday. Solo shot his 33rd. 553rd of his career. 253 average. 71 RBIs. Trout, big lead over at second. That was fouled back. Down and in.
There are a lot of pitches inside the right-handed batters, whether it's his fastball or cut fastball, and early on. Does pitch inside very effectively. On the road this year, 5-5 with a 3.59 ERA. 0-3 in his career versus the Angels, though.
Yeah, this being his 5th career start. Good young arm at 26. A couple of organizations. It's amazing, too, because you look at his numbers in the minor leagues. Weird that he bounced around. Albert takes inside.
I've always liked his arm. He's had a tough time throwing a lot of strikes against the Angels. But this season, though, just 32 walks and 131 punch-outs in 154 innings pitched. That's very solid. 4-1.
Sorry, good. Originally with the Mets in the minor leagues, then the Yankees in the minor leagues. Full count. He pitched in Tampa, A-ball for the Yankees in 2011. 30 games, 12 starts, 10-2 and a 2.91 ERA. Became a free agent. And the White Sox signed him. He was at AAA the next season and got to the big leagues that following season, making 22 starts for the Sox. Oops.
And I like his arm. Anybody's that comfortable throwing inside as effectively he has against right-handed power hitters is certainly solid in my mind.
3-2, pulled the short. Got it on the hands enough. Ramirez, his throw is on target. 2 down. Trout has to stay at second base. TJ hitting .271, 9 home runs, 27 runs batted in. A 1-for-4 night last night with the singles. He pulls this one to third. Saladino has it. Across the diamond for the third out. So the Angels do tie things up on the Trout doublehead the second. It's a 1-1 game.
We might have to go back and do that once again. Coming up late in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Big battle in PNC Park in Pittsburgh today. And Archer trying to deal against the Astros. So far, he is dealing.
I think those lovely ladies mind us just watching them eat. Seriously, they looked really comfortable with that camera right there.
Yes. We were very comfortable in that environment last night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Garcia, LaRoche, and Ramirez here in the second inning. And I don't know about you, but on Twitter, Facebook as well. No, you're not on Facebook, right? You're on Twitter. Feedback was pretty positive.
Yeah, they loved it.
It was difficult for us from an angle to tell depth of fly balls, and especially down in the corners because we're down so low. But overall, pretty cool experience.
It's really cool to be able to see that first step, that prep step that the infielders would take. Same thing as far as the outfielders. Some swings on certain pitches, especially those slow breaking balls from Weaver last night.
Ground ball over to third. Caleb Coward has it. 1 down. Hey, fans, on Saturday, join us for a pregame ceremony when the Angels will induct Dean Chance, Mike Witt, and Tim Samlin into the Angels Hall of Fame. Fans in attendance will receive a commemorative Hall of Fame card while supplies last. Visit Angels.com to get your tickets today. Get your Dean Chance card?
Yes, I do.
You all excited?
Oh, there's no question. Trying to get it out. We're getting ready for on Saturday.
Man crush.
Ah, there it is.
There it is. Your man crush.
Oh, yeah.
You going to give him a bro hug?
Yes. Got to.
To Dean?
He's the man. He is the man.
LaRoche, 207 average. First start of the series. Seen him pinch hit a couple of times. He's the guy that grounded into the inning-ending delayed double play last night. Actually, he was on base. Three balls, one strike. That is high toward right center field. Playable for Mike Trout. 2 down.
There's that class that's going in there. Class of 2015, Dean Chance, Tim Salmon, and Mike Witt, one of the best curveballs that I've ever seen. Competed against him, whether it was on the field or when he was coaching at Santa Margarita. Also, very intense competitor, Mike Witt.
Looking forward to seeing all three. Plus a couple of special guests. They're going to be at the game. He signed that, right?
Yes.
That was what, 2010 or 11 when
50th anniversary.
Was it Angels Weekly that went to his house
Yeah,
when we were in
so.
Ohio? We were in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's the best.
I guess it would have been the year before the 50th anniversary for the special. Yeah. 1-1 to Ramirez. That is fouled. 1-2. Here's a look at the card that Gooby keeps in his possession.
Yes, I do. It's always with me. Yes, indeed.
Dino.
Yes, it is.
Is it going to be one of these?
Yeah, go. Something.
Chest bump him?
Yeah. Maybe headbutts.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
That'll go over well.
Hi, Dean. There goes Dean.
Down goes Dean.
Two on the way. Oh, written on hands. Fouls it off. That's a called strike 3. Down goes Ramirez. A 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Tropiano. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the second. Destroyer Max Holloway takes on dangerous double threat Charles Oliveira, plus a welterweight showdown between Neil Magny and Eric Silva. Catch UFC Fight Night Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Is that dangerous versus destroyer? That's a tough match.
Yes, sir. I was doing my UFC pose. This one out to shallow right. Garcia plays a shallow right field. Makes the basket catch for the first down. So Eric is retired. I think that's a good pose right there.
Yeah, that was real good. There you go. This play by Garcia coming in on that flare out to the outfield by Eric. Talked about his arm strength. He runs pretty well too to cover some ground, but very shallow does he play in right field.
Giavitello looks at a strike. 267 average for Giavitello. 3 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Last night had an 0 for 4 night. He shoots this one down the right field line. Garcia's not going to get this one. He gets down for a hit. Avisail with a good throwing arm. Giavitello trying to get the second, and he is out.
Oh, what a perfect throw. I guess if you get the memo, we were just talking about that great throwing arm. Now 13 outfield assists this season for Garcia. You can't really blame Giavitello to take a shot at it, though. Garcia not only gets to this quickly, he's getting rid of that baseball just as he's getting to the base, and then a perfect one-hop throw.
Yeah, not even a good throw. It's because it's on the center field side of the bag. It still gets him easily.
With that arm he has, now tied for J.D. Martinez with 13 outfield assists in right field.
It's a single for Giavitello. Garcia has his limitations as a defender in right, but the arm usually doesn't go in a slump.
Still, I don't think that's a bad play by Johnny Giavitello, just taking that shot to try to get into scoring position. You know, Mike Scioscia's never really going to be critical of his base runners when they're aggressive like that, especially with no one on, one out, trying to get into scoring position for Iannetta.
In the second inning. Why not?
Force him to throw a good throw. Wasn't a perfect throw, it was a lot on the throw, enough to get him out at second, but it's still a close play.
Iannetta hitting 188 home runs, 29 runs batted in. He's been mired in a long, tough slump. Perez getting the bulk of the playing duties here over the last week. Carlos with the night off tonight. Chris pops one up to shallow right. Sanchez, the second baseman, cutting to his left. He'll put it away. The Angels are done here in the second. We'll head to the third. Still tied at 1. 7:05, and fans in attendance will receive a snapback hat courtesy of St. Joseph Hope Health while supplies last. Get your tickets by visiting the Angel Stadium ticket office or online. 1-1 ties. We start the third. 8-9-1 coming up for the Sox. Soto, Sanchez, and Nick Tropiano. 24-year-old, native of West Islip, New York. At Stony Brook University. We saw Stony Brook jersey last night down at the Diamond Club, didn't we?
Yes, we did. They've been pretty good. Working their way to the College World Series in baseball. A lot of Southern California kids going out there and playing.
Tropiano, originally a 5th-round pick by the Astros in 2011 out of Stony Brook. Just off the plate, it's 2 balls, no strikes. Giovanni Soto hitting .248, has 8 home runs, 20 runs batted in. 58th game for him.
First game against the Angels this year.
First one on the first base side, headed to the seats. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Good off-speed pitch. A lot of movement on that pitch, too. Good pitch. Swing and a miss. Slow breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Tropiano. Hey fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you to our broadcast, and as always, we thank you for your continued service to our country.
This big curveball from Tropiano on that pitch. You can take something off the slider. I mentioned it's more of a slurve, a combination of a slider and curveball.
This one ripped over to first. Chrome will take it. A 1-hopper. 2 outs. So back to the top of the order now, and Adam Eaton.
One thing you notice with Tropiano, he's very quick as far as getting signs he wants to throw the baseball, but it's also important for him to keep his balance over the pitching rubber. He really tries to slow himself down when he's going to deliver the baseball to have a better chance to get that good arm slot.
Eaton with a double to lead off the ball game down the right field line on an elevated off-speed pitch. Scored the White Sox run on a ground down by Abreu. 0-2. By the way, it's Mike Estabrook calling the balls and strikes tonight. Ed Hickok's at first, Paul Norton at second, and Dana DeMuth at third.
I was thinking you're going to do the honeymooners. Norton.
Here you go. Grab some pie. Right to the bottom of the third. 1-1 tie. Third inning, 9-1-2 coming up for the Angels here to face Jose Quintana. Nick Tropiano with a couple of strikeouts. Mentioned he gave up the run in the first inning on the double, but the off-speed stuff has been working.
He's been going to his two-seam fastball, four-seam, but his breakable, which he's been able to take something off with the slider, it's more of a slurve type action instead of straight over top curveball, the split finger fastball working for him, changeup. So he's utilizing all his pitches early on, Victor, which makes that fastball with that late life he has even better at this point.
Hey, when I texted you this morning that I was wearing a powder blue shirt, I was telling you I was wearing a powder blue shirt.
You wearing a powder blue shirt?
Caleb Cowart looking for his first major league hit. You will look at a strike. Third straight start for him.
Are you sure? I thought it was purple.
Purple haze.
Oh, in my brain.
Cowart 0 for 6. Hole here, no balls, 2 strikes.
Got a lot of fastballs from Zamarja last night. 95, 96, 97, all of them upstairs. Now Quintana's throwing them all speed pitches. Big thing, just like we talked about those quiet, relaxed hands with runners in scoring position, important for Cowart to have the same type of relaxed hands right now. Don't think in terms of trying to swing too hard. Just put the ball in play, see the baseball, and then as the game progresses, you're going to hit the ball harder.
This is punch foul. Almost gets Alfredo Griffith, or at least wakes him up.
One thing about Alfredo, he never smiles.
No. He is a jolly old soul. Ground ball to the right side. Sanchez has it. And there's the first out of the third. Want to wish a very happy birthday to Mark Langston. Radio booth today. Langer.
There
Langley,
he is.
the man of many nicknames.
Yes, he is. He's Bernhardt longer.
It's your birthday.
I sang him a happy birthday early.
Did you?
I tried to play a little Rush for it, but it didn't work real well for me. Not only a great pitcher, great guy, but what an unbelievable fielder he was on the mound. Multi-Gold Glove winner. And can play guitar.
Well, he loves his music.
Oh, he does. And the big thing is yesterday, Langer brought in a good friend of his, lead guitarist for Taylor Swift. Yesterday played some guitar for the guys in the clubhouse yesterday.
Victorino popping this one up. Sanchez, the second baseman, is there. 2 outs. Brings up Cole Calhoun. Take a look at the hot upcoming schedule. Mentioned the Blue Jays in town. The Angels get Price, Estrada, and Dickey. And the Halos will counter with Santiago, Heaney, and Richards.
That should be an outstanding series. It's good pitching throughout for both teams. We know what Toronto could do, swing in the bat. Much better defensive club, too, with a couple of moves they made. Ben Revere to Lewinsky at shortstop. So the Angels counter with some good pitching themselves. It should be a lot of fun in that series.
Cole lined out to Melky Cabrera. That pitch just missed inside. A big swing and a miss. Good hack at that pitch. He had a good pass at the one he lined out in the first inning on.
Yeah, just drifted back to Cabrera in left field. He covered a lot of ground to run that one down. Another one of those good counts against Quintana. 2-1 count. 17 for 32 coming in as game hitters against him in this count.
Little looper out to shallow right. Garcia playing a little deeper with Cole at the plate, and that falls in for a hit.
And the reason why that batting average is what it is against Quintana on a 2-1 count, more often he'll go with his fastball because he's not as comfortable throwing his all-speed pitches to get back into the count. So a fastball here to Cole. It's somewhat jammed, but still base hit against him because he's looking fastball. Stay back on it well enough, even though he didn't get it on the barrel of the bat, enough on it to get a base hit and give Mike Trout an opportunity to drive him home.
Trout with a double and an RBI in the first inning. His 23rd double, 72nd run batted in. One to one. Pretty good lead for Calhoun over at first base. Down and in.
You know, the 2-1 count again. See if he throws another fastball.
That ball that Trout hit in the first inning, a rocket off the wall in right center. Scored Shane Victorino, would let off the first with a base hit. Quintana took a loss in his last start. Not a bad start. 3 runs, 7 hits, 6 innings of work against the Cubs. A borderline pitch goes Trout's way. 3-1.
Cole's kind of drifting back. Robert Ventura saying that pitch is not down. Quintana threw the baseball. Cole was drifting back towards first. He does have 4 pickoffs this year.
Well, these are the situations where you don't want to get picked off.
You want to stay close enough. Easy able to get back. Especially after the swing you saw from Trout his first at bat.
Another throw to first.
I don't blame him. If you can get a base runner not paying attention, especially when you're in a 3-1 count against Trout.
And that is upstairs for ball 4. So 2 on, 2 outs. Pujols coming up. That's first walk for Quintana.
Soto going out to talk to Quintana because he threw a couple pitches in that sequence against Trout that could have been called strikes or borderline. Were not called strikes.
Halos in this series 1 for 18 with men in scoring position, yet have won the first 3 games. Don King likes to say, only the mirror.
As he says, the best.
Calhoun at second, Trout at first. Good speed on the bases for Albert. Grounded out his first time up. Takes low. The Rays shut out the Astros. The Tigers shut out the Rangers. Halos with an opportunity to pick up a game in the standings. At the start of the day, they were 2.5 back of the Astros.
Baltimore losing big. It's Minnesota also.
7-0. It came to the 5th.
But as Mike Scioscia says, we just have to take care of our own business. We got to play solid baseball and pull this one out today.
Yeah. He doesn't look at the scoreboard. I know.
We do.
We got that down for you.
We'll pick you up.
Kansas City lost to the Red Sox 4-1. Conversation here. Can't imagine he's going to give in here. He stayed away on Trout in the first at bat. 2-0 fastball, caught the outside corner.
And he's either going fastball down and away, try to catch the corner, or changeup, I would think.
It's a breaking ball.
Now he's going to be swinging here. If Albert gets a pitch, a fastball that he can drive, he's going to let it go.
Okay, you got 3 shots here to get a pitch to back leg. There's ball 4, and they're loaded up.
Good patience there by Albert. We want to help him out by chasing that all-speed pitch out of the strike zone.
.48 pitches. Don Cooper's going to come out and pay a visit.
This is exactly what we talked about, Victor. At the start of the game, the go-to is to be successful. Those quiet hands with runners in scoring position. Here's an opportunity right now for C.J. Cron, who has been swinging the bat well of late. Again, you don't have to help him out. If it's got to be in your zone, you're at the advantage. I've always felt as a hitter with the bases loaded. Pitcher has the mindset, I have to throw a first pitch strike. Well, sometimes that is not a quality strike. So if it's in your zone, attack. If not, let it get out of the strike zone. Then he's behind 1-0. Then you're really in position to do some damage.
It's a conversation where Don Cooper may have waited a little bit for Mike Estabrook to get to the mound. A couple of questionable pitches in the Trout at bat. Long conversation is over. Cron will bat with the bases loaded at 2 outs. CJ this year 4 for 6 with the bases loaded. Calhoun at third, Trout at second, Pujols at first. A 1-1 tie in the bottom of the third. With the full windup now. That is pulled over to third. He got a breaking ball. Swings at the first pitch, and the Angels are done as they leave him loaded. Head of the fourth, 1-1 game. Use hashtag WestDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Second time in as many nights, the Angels have loaded the bases against the White Sox and left the inning with nothing. 2, 3, and 4 for the Sox here in the fourth. Saladino, Abreu, and Cabrera. I guess that's part of the evolution of a major league hitter. C.J. Cron, young guy, 7 straight balls, and he jumps in the first pitch breaking ball. Round into the fielder's choice. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, what happens a lot of times, you see when the pitching coach comes out to the mound, a lot of times you'll see first pitch fastball, but that's not the case anymore. You're going to see a lot more all speed first pitch after a conversation. So that graphic how well Tropiano has thrown as far as strikes, 43 pitches, 31 strikes so far. Very important inning for Tropiano to put up a 0, get the momentum back for the Angels.
This one pulled to the left side past Coward, and it's a leadoff single for Saladino.
Good prep step by Coward, but that ball was hit and placed perfectly by him into the outfield. And we talked about that last night, a missed opportunity with the bases loaded, but Weaver did a nice job putting up a 0 right away, and putting up a lot of zeros, as a matter of fact, as the game progressed.
Abreu takes inside. Just missed off the plate. White Sox DH. Grounded out in the first. Picked up an RBI. 71st of the year. Quick throw to first. Back safely is Saladino. 5 stolen bases for him. He's been caught twice. This being his 35th game. Two balls, no strikes, 3 punch outs, no walks. 2 hits allowed now by Nick Tropiano. 3rd start of the season with the Angels.
Pretty big lead there.
He takes off. Pitch is rolled toward the middle. Ibar has it. Is only placed to first.
What a play once again by Eric Ibar. What range he has to make that play. Now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Speaking of Eric Ibar, what he did last night was outstanding also. Ground ball with Coward cutting in front of him. Still able to concentrate and make a perfect throw over the first base. That is not an easy play, especially with someone running right in front of you. The concentration in the glove and the quick transfer for Eric Ibar was outstanding, just like that play he just made. Outstanding.
Man at second, 1 out for Melky Cabrera, the left fielder. Good off speed. And it's no balls to 2 strikes. .49 pitches thrown by Tropiano. 34 have been strikes. Good ratio here to start. Goes outside with a fastball.
It's still a good miss. That fastball just runs just enough. You might get a swing off the outside corner now by Cabrera to get a swing and miss.
Go back to the off speed, don't you?
Got to.
Away.
Also, especially because Victorino does such a good job as far as playing a shallow left field to take away a little flare that way if you keep that ball down.
Cabrera better hitter from the left side. .293 this year. .231 from the right. Off speed. Rolled down the line. That's a foul ball. Foul ball. Ed Hickox, first base umpire, making the call. Robin Ventura is going to come out. Hickox made the call immediately. No hesitation. It's tough to see where that ball is at. Remember, it's got to cross over the bag at some point.
And once it goes by the base, it's the first base umpire's call.
And the difficulty in a play like that, as far as wanting it reviewed, is unless there's a camera right down the line, it's virtually impossible to get the call overturned. Unless, of course, it's a line drive that goes over the bag and chalk flies up. But on a bouncer like that, you're just basing that on the ball going over the bag. And in Ed Hickox's determination, it was foul.
Boy, and he had a great view at it. He's right on that line to determine if it was fair or foul.
Cabrera broke his bat in the process. A big call, too. Otherwise, you're talking about a 2-1 Sox leading. Cabrera standing at second with 1 out. That was an off-speed pitch, but it looked like he kind of pulled that across with
Yeah,
it.
and he didn't stay out in front with the pitch. He pulled across his body, and that drifted that change-up off-speed pitch on the inner half of the plate.
Breaking ball, an emergency hack. Fouls it off. He pulled the ripcord late on that one.
Yeah, he did. That would have been a strike also. Been very good season with runners in scoring position, over 350.
Garcia on deck. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Tropiano kind of stumbled off the mound there at the end.
And he tried to really force that off-speed pitch, a splitter away, and stumble as he landed.
Just got a piece of it, hits high at him. Goes back to the backstop, so the count remains at 2-2. Teams exchanging runs in the first. First opportunity for the Sox since then to add on. The Angels given an opportunity in the third, but left him loaded.
See, after that fastball at 91 at that location, if you can feel comfortable with your split finger fastball starting that same zone and have that bottom drop out, you should get a swing and miss.
Payoff pitch. He walked it. Got ahead at 1-2 and issues his first walk of the night. So 2 on, 1 out. Garcia coming up. Obviously, 0 for 1 as he grounded out his first time up. Here comes Mike Butcher. Minnesota still leading Baltimore 7-0 in the 6th inning. Cleveland over the Yankees 3-2. Boston over KC, we mentioned. Tigers shutting out Texas. Tampa Bay shutting out Houston 1-0. Can't imagine there's a lot of 1-0 games in Houston.
Not in that ballpark.
No, the way they've swung the bats this year.
But Archer, the way he can throw, his slider, 90 to 92 range.
Toronto with the night off. They'll pick up a half game on the Yankees. Now a game and a half back in the East. So Saladino at second and Cabrera at first. 1 out. Off speed pitch for a strike. It's a lot of arms and legs coming at you, especially when you throw that changeup that throws hitters off. You can see where it would throw hitters off.
Yeah, because that location of that pitch is a dangerous location. That was pretty much right down the heart of the plate. Enough deception.
Goes outside with a fastball and evens up the count at 1-1. Broken bat rolling to short. Should be 2 and end the inning. It does. Cron digs the throw out of the dirt. And Tropiano works out of some trouble. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Still tied at 1.
That as the Rays beat and get that split with the Houston Astros in the MVP's battle. That's McCutchen and Posey in PNC Park as San Francisco takes on the Pirates, but it's Neil Walker who steals the headlines. The pitch with 1 on, down in the strike zone at break a ball, 2-run home run for Neil Walker as Pittsburgh continues to roll. They win that one 4-0 against the defending champs.
Neil Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah. He is that.
Tied at 1, bottom of the 4th. Did a nice job by Tropiano to induce that double play to get out of the top of the 4th.
It's a good conversation you had with Mike Butcher. Just get back to a changeup, then was able to work downstairs and get a ground ball double play.
Tana back to work. Got Cron to swing at the first pitch with the bases loaded to end the 3rd inning. Here in the 4th, he'll face Ibar, Giavotella, and Iannetta. Eric 0 for 1 as he lifted one out to shallow right field. His first at bat. Garcia again playing very shallow and right. Off speed pitch. Two balls, two strikes. Keep down with no strikeouts, 2 walks. Back-to-back 2-out walks. To Trout and Pujols to load him up. 4 hits allowed. Dribbler out in front of the plate area and hit him. Yeah.
It looked like he was in the batter's box. He's out of the batter's box, and that baseball hits and he'll be ruled out.
Angels, by the way, at the top of the inning, also getting a fortunate call at first base by Ed Hickox. The ball that Cabrera hit.
And he's still in the batter's box. That's why he's still at the plate right now.
Full count. Giavatella on deck. Last night, the win for the Angels, giving them 39 victories here at home, 39-23. To solve the puzzle of playing out on the road. Dribbler up the line. That is a fair ball. Strong throw from Saladino. Gets high by a step. 1 down. Nice play by the young third baseman.
Between Saladino and Sanchez, they really did a nice job defensively now for the White Sox. That is a long throw. Baseball's right down the line. A fair ball going over the base, and Saladino did not waste time to get rid of that quick on the transfer. Needed all that throw to get Eric Aybar. And what a perfect throw it was to get him by a half a step.
Johnny had a base hit. Tried to stretch it into a double. Got thrown out by Garcia, and that was in the second. Still 1 for 1. Two down. Talking about that home record, the road record. No bueno. 10 games under 500 at 24-34.
Long road trip coming up. 3 in Detroit, who they're starting to play a little bit better.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
9 games out on the road.
Anytime you face that Cleveland pitching staff, it's always going to be a tough one. And then finish up in Oakland.
Chris takes up and away. Thing about it too is when you look at the Angels' home record, especially over the last 3 homestands. 3, right? Yeah. Those homestands easily could have been flipped the other way, because it's not as if the offense was pouring on the runs. The pitching was that good. Go back to the first one after the All-Star break. The Angels went 7-2.
They were outscored by their opponents.
Yeah.
But the defense too, they made some unbelievable plays. Granted, that's how you win playoff games, pitching and defense, but you sure like to have some runs to work with, especially early in games.
All right, now it takes a called strike 3, and the Angels go down in order. We head to the 5th, still tied at 1. estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse. More live channels on the go than cable. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more. Top of the fifth inning, tied at 1. The Sox have LaRoche, Ramirez, and Soto coming up 6, 7, and 8 to face Nick Tropiano. An RBI ground down off the bat of Abreu, giving the Sox a 1-0 lead in the first. And the Angels answered. Victorino's single and the double by Trout. That's been it so far. LaRoche 0 for 1. He skied one out to right center in his first at bat. We were looking at an off-speed pitch for a strike.
Well, he sells that changeup very well. Mentioned that arms and legs, the deception.
Just missed low. Ground ball to the right side. Ibar can't get it. Neither can Chiavatello. And it's a leadoff single for LaRoche. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Second straight inning that the Sox have had their leadoff man reach via the hit. And here's Ramirez, who struck out looking to end the second. Third first. No stolen bases or attempts for LaRoche at first. That's line to left. Fastball that was up. So the first two now have reached. The catcher Soto coming to the plate.
And you wonder if Robert Ventura will have him square around the bunt. No sacrifice bunts this year for Soto.
Almost a last second offering at it. One ball, no strikes.
One of those plays now as a pitcher, you're going to get off that mound as quick as you can, so you might have a forced play at third base for a guy that has no sacrifice bunts this year. You bunt it back hard enough to you have a play at third.
Trying to give you an out here. 2 balls, no strikes. Let's go back to the first pitch.
That was real close to making an offering at that bunt attempt.
Two and one.
And be real quick when you get off the mound if you're Tropiano here to see if you get a play at third.
Runner goes, hit and run. This one down the right field line, and that is foul.
There's been a couple real close plays down that right field line and one over the base. Foul, but by about a baseball and a half foul.
2-2, and he pushes a bunt on the first base side. Crone has it. Giavotella covering. Nobody has it. Talk about some serious miscommunication there by all three guys, and the Sox have them loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, gets the bunt down. As a pitcher, you're always going towards first base.
That's an infield base hit.
It's an awkward looking play there, unusual, especially because the bunt was put down with 2 strikes.
Sanchez now at the plate. Second baseman grounded out his first time up. Corner infielder's in. He cues the first one foul. Good off speed. Jose Alvarez first man up. This one lined to center. It'll bring in at least one. Ramirez is going to be stopped at third. And the Sox have a 2-1 lead.
Pitch out over the plate, is able to hit that ball right back up the middle. Ramirez was really going quick around there to third base, but was held, especially with no outs.
So give Alvarez an opportunity to get loose. It's 4 consecutive singles for Chicago. Base is still loaded and nobody out with Eaton coming up. The Bears at third, Soto at second, Sanchez at first. Eaton 1 for 2, double to score in the first inning. We will look at a strike. Just missed it.
It's pretty close. It gets in that inside corner. Try to 2-seam fastball to bring it back.
Off the plate. 2-1 count now. Swing and a miss. Good off speed.
Really looking for that punch out right now.
Lifted out toward left field. Playable for Victorino. Ramirez back to the bag to tag. He will tag. He's coming home. Victorino airmails everybody, and that allows the other runners to advance.
Well, I was just thinking he was just going to throw the ball right to third base to keep a double play in order.
Absolutely no reason whatsoever to do that. You're not going to get Ramirez, and it's 3-1.
That was real good base running, though, by the White Sox to take advantage of that throw. Victorino gets behind that baseball well, but you're not going to throw him out. Ramirez runs too well. You're thinking in terms of keeping the runners at first and second, a ground ball double play, and you get through with limited damage.
Talladino, 1 for 1, a sac, bunt, and a single. 3-1 Sox. 2 in scoring position. This one pulled down the line, foul.
Pretty quick hands for Saladino to turn on that one off the plate and in.
That will flare out to shallow left field. 1 run will come in, although Victorino may have had a play on Soto on this one because Soto was at the bag at third, waiting for that ball to be caught. It's 4-1.
Just off the end of the bat, flares it in front. Soto caught in between where to go. It's been an odd inning for the Angels.
Abreu fouls it back. Downstairs, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Abreu 0 for 2 at 2 ground outs. He's also picked up an RBI. Three runs in. 5 singles here in the 5th.
So she's looking for that double play ball here from Abreu to be able to limit this damage.
Went around. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A good changeup on a 2-1 count.
Sanchez, the base runner at third base. Saladino over at first. Couple of hits for Saladino, picking up his 9th RBI. Two pitch out on a 2-2 count. Kind of odd. Now you're going to get the runner going regardless with a 3-2 count.
It's almost as if you absolutely knew he was going and you picked something up if you were on that bench to see that.
Runner goes. Abreu fouls it off. .25 pitches thrown here this 5th inning for Tropiano.
They've been pretty good as far as throwing strikes and having quick innings, pitch counts wise.
Again, he takes off. That one ripped to foul. Just foul. Dana DeMuth with the call.
There has been some extremely close plays down the line. Oof.
That'll get reviewed.
Yeah, they might want to check that one.
That's on the line, isn't it? They are going to review it.
Now it's a matter of how they place the runners here after this.
Saladino was on the move.
They could conceivably award him home potentially.
I got a feeling it's going to get overturned here. At least a double for Abreu. I think that's what they'll give him. Sanchez would score, and again it goes to where the placement of Saladino.
Yeah, this shouldn't take long, I wouldn't think.
Tropiano gets some tosses here. We were told prior to last year when this replay system put into place, each stadium has a camera behind home plate up at the top of the roof to see the entire field, specifically used for Major League Baseball for these instances that if a call like this gets overturned, they have an idea where base runners are at.
That might be why this has taken as long as it has. You can see right here, that's right on the line.
That's a fair ball.
Yes.
It'll get overturned.
No matter where they're going to place the runners.
Yeah. Sanchez in, Saladino to third.
Well, looks like they're going to score. Both runners.
Dana DeMuth keeps pointing to third. And Abreu to second. Yeah.
No, he's going to send him home, it looks like. He's making that motion.
Oh, yes, he is. He was on the move. It's not surprising. Folks here don't like it. Again, it's at the determination of the crew back in New York. Saladino was on the move.
Yes.
And the determination is he would have scored had that ball been ruled fair.
Yeah, I think that's why it took as long as it did. Saladino's going on the pitch.
So it's a 2 RBI double. 6-1 now, Sox, and that's going to be it for Nick. Talk about an inning in which the wheels certainly came off, and it was the 5th inning for Nick Tropiano. 4 consecutive hits, a sac fly, and 2 more hits. He'll depart with 1 out here, the 5th. Jose Alvarez coming out of relief, and the Angels down 6-1. Just kind of snowballed on him as LaRoche hit one through the shift. A flare single by Alexi Ramirez. Soto with the infield base hit. He was trying to give you an out with the sac bunt and just kind of kept on going there. 5 runs in, 6-1 Sox. In and out, who's in, who's out. Jose Alvarez takes over on the mound to face Melky Cabrera. They spin him around to hit from the right side. Melky fouls off the first one. Melky 0 for 1. Fly ball to left and a walk. Bray, a couple of RBIs, 3 as a matter of fact tonight, 73 on the season. His 23rd double. Broken bat line to second, or pardon me, to third. Abreu back to second, 2 outs.
Jam them enough. Gonna walk Garcia.
It'll bring up LaRoche, the man who started this inning off. Single. There's ball 4. So 2 on, 2 outs, and here comes LaRoche. 1 for 2. A fly ball to center, a single, and a run scored. A breaking ball gets ahead. Jose pitching his 43rd game, 3-3 record, a 3.51 ERA, 45 punch outs at 51 1/3.
Another good breaking ball. And we'll try that one again.
Down goes LaRoche. Inning finally comes to an end, but not before the Sox striking for 5. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. 6-1 White Sox. First is the Giants and the Pirates looking to improve their playoff chances. Then the Rangers taking on the Tigers. Coverage begins at 12:30 Pacific on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Angelos trail at 6-1 as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Jose Quintana had to sit down for a little while. And we'll see how effective he is here in the bottom of the 5th. 9-1-2 coming up for the Angels. Coward, Victorino, and Calhoun.
Still plenty of time to get back in this game.
Caleb Cowart grounded out to second base in his 3rd inning plate appearance. He will look at a strike. One now. At the top part of the strike zone. 1-2. Still looking for that first major league hit. He pulls this one to third. Saladino has it. One down. Brings up Victorino. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a pop-up.
Look at 10, and all of a sudden it's starting to look like he's going to get in cruise control. Lower part of the strike zone, just missing that on a changeup.
1 strikeout, 2 walks for him, 4 hits allowed. This one's towards second, and Sanchez has it for the second out. That's 6 in a row retired by Quintana since walking Pujols to load the bases in the third. Cole 1 for 2 with a single in the third inning. Takes inside. Made adjustments and working both sides of the plate now.
There's that slight little hesitation in his delivery also. A little pause right there and then the follow through. Minnesota all over Baltimore, 14-0.
Ask on the appeal, he didn't go. Almost very Ken Kaiser-like. Safe call there. Or the non-swing call by Danny DeMuth. Paying homage to Kenny Kaiser.
Kenny Kaiser, yes indeed.
That is ripped out toward right center field. Garcia over to cut it off. 2-out single puts a man off for Trout. A 2-hit game for Cole.
2 hits against lefty. Lefty's only hit .219 this year against Quintana. But Cole, the real good swings. Even the 1 out he made was hit well to left field that Cabrera ran down.
Trout an RBI double in the first, a walk into third.
And the key to this game, won't get fooled again. A big swing by Trout. All of a sudden, with 3-run lead for the White Sox. Looking for that pitch to drive. He certainly had a great swing his first at bat.
Bouncer to the left side. Ramirez can't get it. It'll sneak through for a hit. Second hit of the night for Trout. 2 on, 2 outs now for Albert.
Ramirez putting or so up the middle. Trout pulls that one in that hole, shortstop hole. And if he gets to that baseball, there's no way you're going to throw out Calhoun at second or Trout at first.
Albert 0 for 1. Grounded out to short of the first inning. Drew a walk in the third. Now how careful will Quintana be this time around? He was careful the last time. Albert didn't jump on any of his pitches. Someone just got crossed up.
I was going to say, no question. And a pretty good pitch to drive, too, for Albert. Albert with 3 home runs in his last 4 starts. Crossed up again.
Here comes Don Cooper. It's been a meeting bonanza on the mound tonight. For the 5th.
So I had to get crossed up twice. One at bat.
At that point, don't you just go with the one side?
Yeah. Or you just tap the legs or tap the shin guards. You're not seeing the signs well.
.78 pitches, 44 for strikes. Back-to-back 2-out hits here in the 5th. One. Albert chases down and away, fouls it off, 1-2. Check this swing. More of a traditional call there by Ed Hickox.
We could all pick that one up a little bit better.
I'll give you that sign from now on, like in review. When the bill comes to the table,
you're good.
We got it.
No problem.
You better be paying attention because it's going to be quick. Calhoun at second, Trout at first. 2-2, lined into center field, a base hit. Calhoun being waved in, will come in to score. 6-2 Sox. Pujols picks up the RBI. The 72nd of the season.
Stayed back, and that was a pretty good pitch too. 92-mile-an-hour fastball down, even a little bit off the outside corner, but right back up the middle. Picks up another RBI, getting now 70.
Snaps it 0 for 13 for the Angels with men in scoring position. Here's C.J. Crone.
Well, Quintana threw him a breaking ball first pitch last time he was up with the bases loaded. More likely he'll probably throw something off speed again first pitch.
Soto putting on signs. Trout at second now. Albert over at first. TJ 0 for 2. Twice has grounded out to Saladino at third. Similar to the pitch, this one a little bit higher up in the strike zone. Got a fastball, looks at a strike, and it's 0-2. Good take and a hard breaking pitch.
We'll see if they're real deep now in right field. He's taking a few steps in, especially with the count being 1-2 against CJ Cron.
Cron is jammed, fouls it off to the right. There goes Soto to talk with Quintana. It is his first and only action of the series, so might as well make the most of the airtime. Is off again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Twice now he's not chased that slider down and in. He's thrown a fastball in and he's swung at. And if we come back inside with another fastball, see if he's ready for CJ Cron.
2-2 now. Cron takes a called strike 3 on a fastball, and the Angels leave 2 on. They do get a run back. We'll head to the 6th inning. It's 6-2 Sox.
swing within the game here is Albert Pujols. Base hit up the middle. RBI single. Base hit with a runner in scoring position. Now he's like, hey, can I have that baseball? So that's the first base hit he's had with a runner in scoring position since August 1st at Dodgers Stadium. Having a little fun with that. Maybe that, the kind of swing with a runner in scoring position, will get Albert going now.
Bottom third of the order here for the Sox. Ramirez, Soto, and Sanchez. Jose Alvarez still in the ball game. Tropiano 4 to third, 8 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 runs, 6 earned. Jose falls behind here, 2 balls, no strikes. Ramirez 1 for 2, strikeout in the second, singled and scored in the 5th inning. There's 6 hits picked up by the Sox in the 5th. 2-1. Just missed in. This one rifled out to right. Here comes Cole. He'll make the running catch. 1 down. Squared up by Ramirez, but Cole got a good read on it.
Yeah, he got a good first step. Read off the bat. He'll track that one down.
Soto cuts through that one, and it's an 0-1 count. He's 1 for 2. He's trying to sacrifice in the 5th inning. Ended up getting an infield base hit on it. Miscommunication between Tropiano, Crone, and Giavitello. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's a really big play in that inning. It allows the White Sox to really gain momentum. A few other plays in that inning were very difficult for the defense, which has been very good. So a lot of great plays last night.
That's a called strike 3. Down goes Soto, 2 outs. Angel fans, send your kid back to school in style with Junior Angels Kid Club merchandise. Each kid includes an Angel shirt, socks, shoelaces, and more for only $18. They could be the star of the classroom or the halo, whatever. Visit angels.com/Junior Angels for more information to purchase your kit today.
Send them back to school, Archie Baker.
Don't let the door hit you.
Yeah, they always love that.
Or the good Lord split you. There's Sanchez. Spins around a hit from the right side. Cardinals 1 for 2. Ground out and an RBI single. Good off-speed pitch. 0-2. Ground ball toward the hole. Coward cuts it off. Nice play by the rookie third baseman, and it's a 1-2-3-6 for Jose Alvarez. Sox still on top, 6-2. Tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag West State of Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Ibar, Giamatello, and Iannetta for the Angels here in the 6th inning. Getting to the point in the game where this might be Quintana's last inning, especially with some of the arms that the Sox have in their bullpen.
Some serious power arms in that bullpen.
87 pitches for the lefty. The 88th is a strike. Ibar doesn't like the call, but under our Fox tracks, he got the bottom part of the zone. Eric is 0 for 2.
Very similar to the same pitch that C.J. Cron was called out and finished off that last inning.
Eric pulls one toward the hole, backhanded by Ramirez, plants, fires to first, and he gets Eric by his step. One out.
What a play by Ramirez. He's got that great throwing arm. Good play right there. Arco top tier play of the game. Not only the backhand, but the strong, firm throw across the diamond to get Eric Ibar. What a play by Ramirez.
Very erratic early on this year. 12 errors committed by the White Sox shortstop, but he's been better in the second half as Giamatello looks at a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Giamatello 1 for 2 with a single and a ground ball to short. Houston lost tonight. They were shut out by the Rays 1-0. Texas was shut out by Detroit 4-0. And that game at Baltimore. They have a rain delay? Or is it just the runs?
No, I think that game was delayed for a bit.
It had to have been, right? It's 12-15 back there. It's 15-2 in the 9th. Twins leading the Orioles.
So they went for the 2-point conversion.
Or got a safety on the first play of the Super Bowl.
There was.
Johnny goes down swinging. 2 outs. Third strikeout now for Quintana. Base is cleared for Chris Iannetta. Chris 0 for 2. A pop up and a strikeout. Went down looking at his last at bat. Tonight it does not get any easier. We've mentioned this before, the Angels' struggles against left-handed pitching. At the start of the day, the Angels came in batting just .232 against left-handed pitching. They have 7 hits tonight, but when it's counted, they really haven't picked them up. They got a tough lefty tomorrow night, David Price, in Game 1 against the Blue Jays.
11-4 on the season, very good ERA. It was 2-6 in the last 8 games against left-handed starters. That's those 2 wins in a row. And lost 6 in a row.
Cam Bedrosian getting ready for the Angels now. Mike Bourne, by the way, who was up for a couple of days but didn't see action, was sent down last night to make room for Nick Tropiano. Get to start tonight. Cam. Iannetta bounces this one toward the middle, and Ramirez can't get it. It's a single for Chris with 2 outs. Boy, if Ramirez gets to that ball and throws out Iannetta, that's one of those. Don't you just take the uni off and say, I quit?
That's it.
And when you're going that bad, you want those baseballs to get up the middle and get first base.
Exactly. Usually, especially when a guy just made a play earlier in the inning, you expect them almost to make that play against you, especially when you're struggling to get some hits.
So man on with 2 outs. Caleb Coward at the plate. Twice has grounded out tonight. Fouls off the first one. Caleb's rolled out to second and wants the third. Pops this one up on a third base side. Saladino, third baseman, comes down the line into foul territory, and the Angels are done here in the 6th. We head to the 7th with the White Sox still leading it. Money. Log on to MercuryInsurance.com to get a fast rate quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, the summer clearance is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th inning. Halos down 6-2. Jose Alvarez back out on the mound. Top of the order coming up for the Sox at Eaton, Saladino, and Abreu. Drag bunt toward first, and again miscommunication there. DJ Crone going back and forth, and it's an infield base hit for Eaton.
Brings that ball right down the line, Eaton using his speed. That's the play right there as a first baseman you have, especially with a left-handed pitcher. He's going to fall towards third base. You come get that, and the second baseman, Johnny Giavitello, has to be at the base.
So Alvarez has done. Cam Bedrosian coming on in relief with the man on and nobody out here in the 7th. Pitching change. Second of the night for the Halos. Adam Eaton chases Jose Alvarez. Cam Bedrosian now on in relief. Bedrock Jr. pitching in his 19th game, 1-0 record of 4.74 ERA, 19 innings, 23 hits, 15 strikeouts, and 11 walks. He'll be facing Tyler Saladino. White Sox third baseman has a couple of hits tonight. A sac bunt. He's also scored a run and picked up an RBI.
I believe Eaton may be on the move early here.
Good arm for Cam Bedrosian. At times, the command's been the issue for him.
Once he starts to gain confidence and realize how good his stuff is, he can be very, very effective out of the bullpen.
Good fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. A couple of lines from Salt Lake as far as rehab assignments. Colin Cowgill tonight 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Matt Joyce 1 for 3. Cowgill 8 for 19. Joyce 3 for 7. David Freese feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, the hands feel better when he's throwing the baseball.
This one popped up on the first base sign. Crone near the railing. No play. David feeling like he was going backwards a little bit as far as his rehab because of his inability to throw the baseball without pain, without issues. Regardless who's on the periphery, the DL or otherwise, this core group has got to find a way to kind of get it going.
One thing to keep in mind, there's not many minor league games left. They're getting close to the end of their seasons. Especially for David Freese, once he feels good enough, get some at-bats, rehab assignment to get back as quick as possible.
Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. September 1st, right around the corner. Rosters can expand to 40. That's always a fun time.
See a lot of teams, especially with so many teams in the playoff chase. You see some guys that can field, guys that can run a little bit. On that 40-man roster being added just for that one chance to steal a base, score a run.
Eaton takes off, pitches upstairs, a throw down to second, and it's not a tie with a stolen base.
Pretty good jump for Eaton. A high throw over the shortstop side of the base, though, and Eaton able to get his hand on the base to pick up his 12th stolen base of the season.
Three-two on the way, and he chases the high fastball. Down goes Saladino, 1 down. We'll go back to that 40-man roster. Do you think that's something that gets addressed in the next CBA?
Yeah, I think so. Some managers don't like to see quite a few extra players brought up there. Mike Scioscia's not a huge fan of adding so many extra players. They may bring an extra catcher, obviously. A few guys down for your bullpen, an extra infielder or two. But I think that's something they will definitely negotiate.
Abreu 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Six-2 Sox. 5 runs in the 5th inning for Chicago, snapping a 1-1 tie.
Now it's time for in the driver's seat, brought to you by Kia. Jose Abreu, a solid game, especially that last at bat. Double 3 RBI tonight, 73 on the season, which leads the White Sox in that category. 36 home runs, 107 RBI last season. AL Rookie of the Year. Good power to all fields.
One ball, one strike on Abreu. Eaton over at second. Eaton at second base belongs to Alvarez. Gave up the butt base hit to Eaton. Jose Mota again with the glove.
I think he did save the world's most interesting man right next to him. That was real close. Yes, he did save him because he is the world's most interesting man.
I think Amaldi just turned to Jose and said, "I love you, and you complete me." Except on the SAP broadcast, te amo.
The old 50-50 chance of hitting him, but in his world, it was an 80% chance it wouldn't, though.
Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brady now 73 RBIs. His performance tonight. Full count. Melky Cabrera, the man on deck. 1 out here, the 7th. Right after with a fastball, 2 outs.
96-mile-an-hour fastball. Swing and miss, 2 strikeouts for Cam. Get that front shoulder in very well. Fastball in the outside part of the plate against a good fastball hitter. Swing and miss.
Cabrera for 2. Line down to Coward. Last time up. Halos in the 7th. At the top of their order coming up, Victorino, Calhoun, and Trout. Nate Jones have been loosening in the pen for the Sox. Quintana's more than likely done after his 6 innings. One ball, 2 strikes. A long top of the 7th there. Eaton still standing at second base. Bunt base hit and a stolen base. 2 strikeouts of Saladino and Abreu. Keeps his at bat alive. Everything a final now in Major League Baseball. With Minnesota wrapping up that game against the Orioles 15-2. Toronto was off tonight. They pick up a half game on the Yankees in the East. They trailed down by a game and a half. This one lifted out to center.
Inning over. We will head to the bottom of the 7th. Top of the order coming up for the Halos.
Down by 4. Yankees, Rangers, Astros, Orioles, and the Mets. Meet the Mets. They all lost tonight. The Angels, at worst, a loss tonight. They would remain 2.5 back in the American League West, and they would keep a hold of the second wild card spot. Baltimore losing. Baltimore half game behind the Angels.
What a performance, though, by Chris Archer. 1 hit, shutout, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts.
That's dialing it up, that's for sure.
In that stadium.
Nate Jones takes over on the mound for the Sox here in the 7th. Jones pitching in his 5th game. 4 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts. He's got some serious gas. He'll face the top of the order. Victorino, Calhoun, and Trout. Jose Quintana, the lefty that started for the Sox, went 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 runs, both earned. Sound like a broken record, but the Angels certainly had opportunities against Quintana tonight. And 7 base runners. Left the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Victorino goes down swinging for the first out. One for 4-9 for Shane.
With that power fastball, he can rush it up there like a number of pitchers. To the White Sox out of their bullpen. Upper 90s can touch 100. Slider changeup.
Cole, a couple of hits, both singles. Run scored, 2 for 3.
When this rears back and throws as hard as he can. That one at 98.
Late movement on that one, just missed. 2-1. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The White Sox have left 4 on base. Angels with 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Much of the 7th stranded. 3 balls, 1 strike. Trout on deck. Here's the payoff. Walker. Trout's been on board 3 times tonight. Double with an RBI, a walk, and a single.
Well, this could be fun if he squares up one of these 98-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Caught the inside corner. Not fun if you get jammed, that's for sure.
No. That had some pretty good movement, too.
Yeah. Might have to pick up your knuckles from the batter's box. Inside again.
Yeah, your object against Jones is to catch that fastball out in front. If you can.
with a breaking ball. 1-2. Ground ball toward the hole, backhanded by Ramirez, fires a second for one. Quick relay to first and got him. Wow, what a turn by Sanchez at second.
He is really solid in that position, really solidified their defense up the middle for Chicago.
End of the 8th, White Sox still on top.
Sox 6-2. Patrick O'Neill here with you. Stick around after the game for Angels Live. Whatever happens, we're going to be here. Got Tim Salmon, Jose Mota, and Alex Curry. We'll get the interviews. We'll for sure talk about Nick Tropiano, the solid defense from the White Sox, and even the solid defense from Jose Mota. Perhaps I'll just bug Tim Salmon about going into the Hall of Fame on Saturday, make him feel uncomfortable, and have him talk about his career. But no, in fact, the game tomorrow night is going to be great. Great matchup with the Blue Jays. Hector Santiago versus David Price. Now, Hector Santiago has this amazing autographed jersey collection. He will ask anybody at any time. Victor and Mark, does he bother David Price before the game for that Toronto jersey, or wait till after?
Hey, whatever works, man. You're just looking for the W.
Get in his head, I say.
Yeah, distract him.
I said do it before you throw your first pitch.
Yeah,
just walk over to
hold
the
on,
dugout.
hold on. Yeah, hold on. Can you just take your jersey off and sign that for me?
Mr. Price.
He does have an amazing collection.
Garcia, LaRoche, and Ramirez here in the 8th inning. Garcia, the right fielder, 0 for 2, a ground out, double play, and an intentional walk. DH the first 3 games of the series out in right field tonight. Breaking pitch, and that is drilled out to center. Trout is not going to get there. One hops the fence. You're talking about a ball that was smoked.
And straight over the head of a center fielder, the most difficult baseball to read off the bat. Breaking ball, stayed hard of the plate, stayed back on that one well. He's hit some hard baseballs this year against the Angels, including a couple home runs.
Double for Garcia, his 15th of the year. LaRoche at the plate, 1 for 3. A single with a run scored to 5th. White Sox now double digits in the hits category. And that is hammered out to right center field. A no-doubter. 8-2. White Sox. LaRoche with his 11th of the season.
One thing, even though Ken Padres throws very, very hard, when you miss location, especially on that part of the plate, with some power, he's not going to miss that pitch. Fastball down. He was all over that fastball down, and the follow through on the swing. LaRoche's 11th home run, 39th RBI.
3rd home run that Cam has allowed this year. Bases clear now. Ramirez fouls off the first one. It's like Cesar Ramos beginning to loosen now. 8-2 Sox. The White Sox 100th home run of the season. Haven't hit many this year. Two balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Tropiano tonight, 6 runs in his 4 1/3. A 5th inning that snowballed on him. Alvarez went a scoreless inning in 2/3. Now Pedroia has gone an inning plus 2 batters, giving up a double and a home run here to start this 8th inning. And a walk after getting ahead of Ramirez. So 3 guys have come to the plate in this inning. All 3 have reached. Brings up Soto, the catcher. One for 3 night for Soto. Bunt base hit. And Soto gets into one out toward right center. Calhoun and Trout, both of them pull up. It's off the fence. Ramirez will be stopped at 3rd. It's a double for Soto. Now the ball gets away from Giavotella. He kicks it again. Ramirez started to go home, and for whatever reason, walks back to the bag.
But a couple times we've seen in the last couple of days for the White Sox, but a chance maybe in a man on 3rd to score, did not do so.
So not a very good inning for Cam Bedrosian as Mike Scioscia is going out to the pen.
On the relay throw, pretty good throw in from Trout, and then Giavatello cannot pick up the baseball, trying to pick it up with the glove.
Pitching change, 8-2 Sox. Ramos takes over on the mound. Ramos now pitching in his 48th game, 2-1 mark, 2.08 ERA. Last pitch on Saturday, ended up throwing 35 pitches in that game. And here in the 8th, with nobody out, runners at second and third, he's going to face Carlos Sanchez, the switch hitting second baseman. Sanchez 1 for 3. Infield halfway. And this one's fouled off to the right. Ramirez over at third base. Soto at second. Soto with his 8th double. That's down low. I mentioned Soto. Bottom of the 7th inning. Quick turn at second with Trout running down the line at first.
How quick that transfer was for Sanchez. He is a very good second baseman. Talked about his fielding percentage, .991, which is tops in the American League as far as second baseman.
Chases a pitch, 1-2. And while Saladino's playing third base now, he's actually a shortstop by trade. I wonder what the White Sox decide to do going into 2016. I think there's an option on Alexei Ramirez's contract. Be a pretty good tandem because Saladino handles himself well at the hot corner already. A dribbler foul.
But much more comfortable shortstop position.
This game a 1-1 tie going into the 5th. First 4 batters reached against Nick Tropiano. They ended up scoring 5 times. They tacked on 2 more here in the 8th. 1-2, got him looking. Down goes Sanchez, one away. Trace Thompson's going to come up and pinch hit now for Eaton. Finishes the night going 2 for 3. Single and a double.
Ran into his dad, Michael Thompson, today at the ballpark. Just a huge smile on his face. What his son has done so far at the major league level.
Infield in the entire way now. Trace 7 for 14 at the major league level so far. 1 double, 1 home run, 1 RBI. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. One ball, 2 strikes. Pride of Santa Margarita High School.
As I recall, Michael telling me he was a pretty good pitcher back in the day. We saw that arm in the outfield already.
Count evened up now. The bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels will have Pujols, Cron, and Ibar coming up. Jake Petritzka is getting ready for Chicago with Jones a scoreless 7th. Two now. That's a called strike 3. Down goes Thompson, 2 outs. Infield back at normal depth, and that'll bring up Saladino. A couple of hits tonight with an RBI. Oh, 2. Inning started with a double by Garcia. And the 2-run home run to Adam LaRoche. Ramirez walked. And Soto doubling off the wall. Ramos trying to keep it right there. 8-2 Sox. Bedrosian responsible for the 2 guys on base. And he got him swinging on the breaking ball. Did he hang on to it? He did. Down goes Saladino. 3 strikeouts for Ramos. We hit at the bottom of the 8th. It is 8-2 Sox.
here in the bottom of the 8th inning. White Sox making another pitching change. They lead this one by 6 runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jake Petrichka in the game.
Gooby.
Another power arm, 91 to 96. Slider changeup. They have some arms, some power arms out of their bullpen.
Pujols, Cron, and Ibar for the Angels here. Thompson, by the way, stays in the game, and he's out in center field. No other changes for the Sox. White Sox will head up to Seattle after the game tonight. Play the Mariners over the weekend. Halos will stay here and welcome in the Toronto Blue Jays beginning tomorrow night. Albert looks at his strike. Pujols 1 for 2. RBI single, then a walk. Ground ball to the left side, backhanded by Ramirez. 1 away. Cron 0 for 3, couple of ground outs and a strikeout looking.
Overthrown fastball there at 96.
Halos got swept by the Sox last week at U.S. Cellular Field. The Angels winning the first 3 of this series. Cron thrown out for the second out. Chicago in charge here. Finale at 8-2. The 8th inning.
It's been very busy here tonight.
Toss nobody on for Eric Ibar. 0 for 3. Eric 0 for 3. Couple of ground downs. Fly ball to right. Nobody loosening for the Angels. Looks like Caesar will be coming back down for the 9th inning. Abreu, Cabrera, and Garcia are due up. Ball ricocheted back to the mound. And off the screen. Let you go back there as a pitcher, reach for that ball and use that one.
Oh, yeah.
Try anyway.
Yeah, you got to give it a shot.
When did that all start? When they started getting rid of baseballs just because it hit the dirt?
over the last 5 to 10 years, every baseball, when you think about it, anytime it hits the dirt, it's out of play.
Ground ball to the left side. Ramirez gets eyebarred. And a 1-2-3 inning for the White Sox. We head to the 9th inning. Sox. Start the ninth. A couple of changes for the Halos. David DeJesus in left field. That moves Shane Victorino to center. So Mike Trout no longer in the ball game. Ryan Jackson takes over at short. So Eric Ibar gone as well. The Braves tonight 1 for 4, 3 RBIs. Doubled home 2 in the 5th inning on a ball that was called foul originally by Dana DeMuth, the third base umpire. Call overturned. Credited with 2 RBIs. Saladino, the base runner at first, was on the move and was given home plate.
Yeah, one of those odd ones we talked about and heard during the wintertime while they were going to make that decision to determine the runner where he was at and if there was a possibility he was going to score. And we've seen that on display. We saw a game end last night on an overturn of a call.
Coward, third baseman, has it. One down. I hadn't done a whole lot of research or read up on it. It couldn't have been that many last year and a half now games that ended waiting for the replay call.
I've not seen any. Certainly not with the Angels.
No.
And I don't remember seeing a whole lot of highlights of other games, especially on a play that's overturned and ended.
So there's a first. We assume. You know what? If we claim it, we just say that's a first.
Exactly. I talked to Mike Scioscia about that play because he wanted to right away to make sure he verified that it was the call, no contact with the base as far as Joe Smith, or was it just the play itself? And that's what happened. Did the ball beat the base? I mean, did the runner beat the throw to the first base? Or was it because Joe Smith did not make contact? And the umpire at that point said right away, no, I said he beat him. The throw down the line and did not get there in time as the runner touches the base. It had nothing to do with contact at the base of Joe Smith.
Because at that point, at the time last night, Mike Estabrook, the first base umpire, he claims that the foot was off the base. Be hard pressed to find evidence. Well, I guess it would be hard pressed, but that's what the crew in New York would be looking for.
Yeah.
Looking for an angle that definitively showed. This one's out to center. Victorino's there. The foot was on the base. Now, we saw one earlier this year with Pujols at first base, if I remember correctly. where he was said to be off the bag. We saw replays that made it appear as if the foot was on the bag, and that call was upheld.
Exactly.
Because there was no definitive angle that showed the foot actually touching the bag.
And that was the call on the field. It was all about the runner beating the throw to first base. And that was the call by Estabro.
Garcia 1 for 3, doubled and scored leading off the 8th inning. Bedrosian ended up going 1 inning with 3 hits allowed, 2 runs scored, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Dan Jennings getting ready now for the Sox. The lefty is in the bullpen. This one out toward right center field, not very deep. Victorino comes in and open, makes the catch in a 1-2-3 ninth. Nice outing for Cesar Ramos. 2 shutout innings. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Halos down by 6. Softly tired. She's done. She gone. Mama, let's go. Time to go.
That's it. Tapping out.
Stretch. Get on back there. Hawk Harrelson, his last night here at the Big A. Sitting next door to us. J.B. Shuck. Down in right field. Dan Jennings takes over on the mound. 33rd game. 1-3 mark. A 5.40 ERA. Giavotella, Ionetta, Cowart due up for the Angels. I'm sorry, JB's in left, not in right. Ground ball to second. Sanchez has it. One away. Loving the Angels play the White Sox. There's Hawk on the right. Stone Pony. Stone Pony. Stone Pony. Steve Stone.
We always have fun with those two.
Yeah.
They're great.
White Sox last visit, so we don't get to talk to Hawk anymore.
Nope.
Man loves baseball.
Oh, loves
Stoney too. And then on this one out to right. Garcia racing toward the foul line. Puts it away for out number 2. So the halo down to the last out here. Difference in this game, the 5th inning. That kind of manifested itself, and then it got out of control for Nick Tropiano. 5 runs in at that point, made it a 6-1 lead. Angels got a run back in the 5th, and of course the 2 runs added by the LaRoche home run. The difference in this game. Caleb Cowart still looking for that first big league hit. 0 for 3 tonight, 3 ground ball outs. Pardon me, 2 ground ball outs and a pop-up. Last time popped out in foul territory.
Maybe a great time to get that first hit, get that out of the way. Certainly he's made some solid defensive plays.
Off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Three balls, 1 strike. Three-one from Jennings. Ground ball to short. Ramirez has it. And the White Sox take the finale tonight by the final of 8-2.
Boy, that seems like it could be fitting. Another ground ball. Ramirez at shortstop, very active in this game as the White Sox end up salvaging the last game of this 4-game series. Jose Abreu, a big night with 3 RBI. Big double as the White Sox win this one 8-2.
8-2 the final. Toronto Blue Jays in town beginning tomorrow night. Stick around. Angels Live post game is coming up next.